Welcome to the Airbus A320 Mentor Channel Podcast episode, Glide Interception from Above Procedure, Threats and Real-World Lessons. Welcome to the A320 Mentor Channel Podcast, where we bring you practical flight operations knowledge straight from the cockpit and the simulator. I'm your host, and today's episode is all about an important non-standard maneuver, glide slope interception from above. This is a maneuver that, while rare in ideal conditions, can be required due to traffic constraints or ATC limitations. When executed correctly, it's a smooth transition into the final approach. But when misunderstood or rushed, it can lead to unstable approaches, automation surprises, and even safety threats. Let's walk through this procedure step by step, and along the way, discuss the common threats and how to mitigate them. Setting the scenario. Imagine this. You're being radar vectored for an ILS approach to runway 32 left. You're currently at 4,000 feet, and the intermediate approach altitude, where the glide slope normally intercepts, is at 3,000 feet. But ATC can't descend you due to traffic below. You're on an intercept heading toward the localizer, configured in Config 1, and you realize you'll pass the final approach point above the glide. Time to prepare for the glide slope interception from above procedure. Procedure step by step. When cleared for the approach. 1. Descend to the intermediate altitude on the FCU and arm the approach mode. 2. Confirm that the lock star and glide slope star are armed. 3. Adjust the configuration to at least config 2, select an appropriate speed, and, if needed, extend the gear to increase drag. Important note: wait for lock star mode to engage before starting descent toward the glide. Why? Because Airbus aircraft may engage lock star early to minimize overshoot. Starting descent too early may lead to an unstable capture. Managing FCU altitude and modes. Once established on the localizer, set the FCU altitude above your current altitude. Avoid using open descent mode at low altitudes. It can cause idle thrust and steep vertical speeds. Use vertical speed mode instead, with a descent rate of around -1,500 to -2,000 feet per minute. Monitor speed closely, don't let it exceed VFE. Use gear and flap changes to control it. Never pull the FCU knob during this setup. Pulling activates open climb, which you do not want in this context. Secondary glide slope interception. Here's a little-known detail. Above the primary glide slope lies the secondary glide path. When intercepting from above, the aircraft is more exposed to capturing this secondary path. That's why active monitoring of the FMA and glide validity is essential. Real-world event. Automation surprise. Let's dive into a real-world incident. An A320 was performing a glide from above. The approach was unstable, and the crew initiated a go-around. The aircraft climbed to the FCU altitude and entered SRS mode. The pilot flying then realized the FCU altitude wasn't the published go-around altitude and changed it. This caused the mode to revert to vertical speed, but with a negative descent rate. How could that happen? Airbus logic retains a pre-selected vertical speed target for 45 seconds after VS is selected. In this case, the original -1,500 feet per minute descent was still active and re-engaged automatically when the altitude changed. The aircraft started descending again unintentionally. Mitigation? Always monitor the FMA, call out mode changes, and be prepared to act if the behavior isn't as expected. Key takeaways. Let's recap the critical steps to follow for glide from above. Arm lock and glide slope early. Set FCU altitude above aircraft altitude. Do not use open descent at low altitudes. Use versus mode with appropriate descent rates. Wait for lock star engagement before descent. Create enough drag to manage speed. Actively monitor the FMA and mode reversion logic. And as always, follow the golden rules. Fly the aircraft. Understand the automation. And monitor the flight path. That wraps up today's episode on glide slope interception from above. If you found this helpful, subscribe to the A320 Mentor channel and join our community of professional aviators. For just 99 cents a month, Get full access to simulator tutorials, advanced procedures, and deep dives like this one. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.